Your morning routine doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Let me show you how I do it. Now, this is coming from someone who just 2 weeks ago was struggling to wake up in the morning, okay? I'm currently 30 weeks pregnant. Wow, that's crazy to say. I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I have 10 weeks or less to go. And 2 weeks ago, I was struggling to wake up in the morning. Now, having a morning routine, having structure, having discipline has been a huge part of my life for the past 5 years. 5, 6 years, and morning routines are very important for me. And as I've said in previous videos, if you've been here, you already know this pregnancy has been very rough for me, and it's been hard for me to establish a routine and stick with it. So, although I've been doing some of my morning routine tasks before I start work, I didn't really have like a structure. I didn't really have an order to it, and I was kind of just rushing to get it done before I start work. So I would read my Bible really quickly in the morning or sometimes before bed. I would read my daily devotional page right before I started work, and I would listen to my podcast as I was working. And even though it was effective, and even though at least I was still getting it done, it was not the ideal situation for me. So I decided, now that I am nearing the end of my pregnancy, I really wanted to try to create a morning routine that I can stick with. And I finally figured out what worked, what didn't work, and how to have a morning routine in my third trimester that is short, simple, and effective. So let's get into it. My morning routine now consists of 3 tasks that I do every morning. But when I initially started, it started off with just one task, and I would wake up 30 minutes early. So literally this started about 2 weeks ago. I started waking up 30 minutes earlier. So typically I wake up at 6:30, and I started waking up at 6 o'clock to do this one task. Once I got that one task down packed, I decided to wake up at 5:45, and then 5:30, and then 5:15, and now I am waking up at 5 in the morning. So I am waking up about an hour and a half earlier than I did 2 weeks ago. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. So first off, I decided to find something that I really wanted to get done, something that was going to get me excited to wake up in the morning, something that I knew was going to motivate me and inspire me. I needed to have a push that was greater than myself, you guys, because that fatigue, the pregnancy, it was overpowering me. So I knew that I was going to have to find something greater than me. A few weeks ago, I was listening to my positive podcast, and they mentioned this book called The Artist's Way. And basically, it provides tips to help unlock your creativity. So I was instantly intrigued because I feel like I lack creativity. I feel like I used to be very creative when I was a child, but as I got older, I lost sight of my creativity and my creative side. So I ended up looking up this book, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I really want to do this. So I ended up ordering the book, and it's called The Artist's Way. And this is what really helped me to decide that I wanted to wake up early, because I wanted to really have time to myself to read the book, to focus on the book, and do the tasks that were a part of the book. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what book I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the book right here. It's called The Artist's Way. It's A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity by Julia Cameron. And I got the package. So it came with the book as well as the Morning Pages journal. What I love most about this book is because not only is it like helping me by just reading the text, but it also gives you like homework and assignments to do. And one of those assignments, one of the major or main things about the book is something called the Morning Pages, which is basically like your morning journal. So she encourages you to write 3 pages every single morning. And basically, it's like a brain dump. So whatever thoughts come up to your mind, whatever thoughts come to your head, you're going to just write them down. And you have to write 3 pages. Once I decided that I was going to commit to this, I wanted to see if I was going to be able to unlock my creativity. I was just super excited to see what would happen at the end of the book and at the end of the 12-week journey, because this is a 12-week journey. It also kind of tied into like the 12 weeks that were left in my pregnancy. So I was just like, oh, this is perfect. 12-week countdown to baby, 12-week countdown to creativity. So I was just like, I'm excited about this. So it fired me up, it amped me up. And I was just like, I got to get up early so I can do my morning pages. So when I first woke up, I realized that it literally took me 30 minutes to write just the pages. So I did that for a couple of days. And then I said, you know what? I don't want to just rush to write my pages. I want to have a little bit more time. I want to be able to read through the book a little bit. I want to be able to read my devotional and stuff like that. So I started waking up a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier. And over the past 2 weeks, I slowly got to an hour and a half of time earlier than I typically would. So I really, really love this book and I love this journal. It's so therapeutic to just brain dump and to just write down everything that's going on in your head and actually like write by hand. I don't know, it's just so therapeutic, and you would be surprised what comes out, what ideas come out, and what answers you get to certain questions that you have. So I am loving this, and this is really what got me waking up early. This is what kickstarted my morning routine. So when I wake up in the morning, I typically lay in the bed for like 15 minutes first, and I read my Bible in my bed. I mentioned this to you guys earlier in a different video. If you haven't seen that first morning routine video, go back and watch it. Lots of gems are in that video. But I typically like to read my Bible on the Bible app on my phone. I just always have my phone on me. It reminds me if I forget. It has such great Bible plans that I can follow that help me to really break down what the Bible is saying and to understand what I'm reading. I just love to do it that way. So right now I am reading the book of Timothy. I found a Bible plan for the book of Timothy, and it starts off with a devotional, basically just explaining the chapters and the verses that I'm about to read. And I read the actual Bible text, and I just love it. So for the first 15 minutes, I lay in my bed, I wake up, I say my prayers, and then I read my Bible. Once I finish reading my Bible, I get out of the bed, use the bathroom, grab my robe, grab my water, grab my Apple Watch, come to the table, and I do my morning pages. And like I said, the morning pages requires you to do 3 pages of just brain dumping. So I literally just write for 3 pages, just getting all my ideas out. Sometimes those ideas might just be like, I'm just so tired. It was hard to wake up this morning. And sometimes it's a little bit deeper and it gets deep, y'all. But I'm loving it. After I finish my morning pages, I then move on to my third task, which is my daily devotional. I showed this to you guys before as well, but I'm going to show you again. So this one right here is Ayan Levansant's Until Today. I actually started this book last year, and I'm coming back up to the pages that I read last year again. So I'm thinking about getting a different devotional for the new year. I was looking online at different devotionals, and I found one that really intrigued me. It's called The Pivot Year by Brianna Weist. And basically, it's something that is supposed to be super motivational and inspirational. It's a 365-day devotional, which I like. I love to be able to just every single day read a page, and I'm really leaning towards getting that one. So if I do get it, I will update you guys. That's basically been the extent of my morning routine. Read my Bible, do my morning pages, and then read my daily devotional. If I finish early, I lay back in bed and cuddle with my husband until it's time to wake up at 6:30. Now that I've gotten this down packed and I have other goals for my third trimester, I am deciding to add one more thing to my morning routine, which is a quick 15-minute stretch. And this was something that I had on my third trimester checklist. Now that I'm in my third trimester, I'm 10 weeks away or less to meeting my baby. I really want to make sure that my body is prepared for labor and for delivery. So making sure that I'm starting to stretch and be consistent with that is important to me, so I'm going to add it to my routine. After I finish my daily devotional page, I'm going to just move over to the living room over there, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get a stretch in. I actually asked ChatGPT to help me with this. I asked them to create me a quick 15-minute to 20-minute stretching guide for my pregnancy, and they created a nice, beautiful guide for me, you guys, Monday through Sunday, honestly. And it tells me exactly what workouts to do, how many minutes to do it. And I love it. Like, it includes like cat-cow, the butterfly stretch, different things like that that I'm going to actually start implementing on Monday. It also encourages me to walk for 15 to 20 minutes as well. So I'm thinking about just doing the 15-minute stretch in the morning and then doing my walk either on my lunch break or in the afternoons after I get off work. So now that I've established my routine and I've gotten into the hang of it, I can now slowly build on it and habit stack. And that is the way to go when starting any new habits or any new routines. Habit stacking is so important when starting your new routine because it helps you to stay consistent and also to build up that discipline and that habit. Habit stacking is adding something to something that you are already doing. If you already wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is brush your teeth, you want to add your first habit, your first new habit right after brushing your teeth. That way it becomes something that you're used to. Okay, every day I wake up, I brush my teeth, and then I do my skincare. For example, one of the habit stacking things that I did for my skincare routine was doing my skincare routine after I get out the shower. Now, whenever I get out the shower, I have to do my skincare routine or I just feel incomplete. I get out the shower, I do my skincare, then I put moisturizer on my whole entire body, and then I get dressed. So habit stacking really helps to just get you to add on new habits and really stick with them, and I highly recommend it. So for me, I started off by just reading my Bible, then adding in my morning pages, then adding in my devotional, and now I'm about to habit stack and add into stretching. So just building on things that you've already established a strong foundation with will help you to build and build and build and know that you have a strong foundation for it. You do not want to start all the things at one time because a shaky foundation is going to just crumble. You want to have a strong foundation first. So do that one thing, do it for 1 to 2 weeks, really get into it, enjoy it, and then start to slowly add on if that is what you choose to do. If your morning routine only consists of one thing and that brings you joy and peace and happiness, that is good as well. Another tip that I would say to help you with your morning routine is prepare the night before. So with my morning pages, like I said, it does come along with a book. So I have to make sure that I read the pages in my book the night before so that in the morning I am prepared to do my morning pages. I am prepared for the tasks that I have to complete. There's certain things that I have to do outside of the morning pages, such as artist dates and different things like that. So making sure that I'm prepared the night before really helps you to start your day. Another example of preparing the night before is making sure you have everything set up. So I make sure that the night before I have my devotional, I have my journal, and everything that I need right at the table so that when I wake up, I can just come right here. I have my robe right by my bedside. So just making sure you have everything in place. Now that I'm planning to start to stretch, after I do my daily devotional, I'm going to make sure that I actually have real clothes next to my bed and not just my robe. Also making sure that I have my yoga mat already in the living room so that it's super easy for me. Listen, easy sticks. The easier your routine, the easier it is for you to do it, the more likely you are to stick with it. Now, with any morning routine, it is important to make sure that you get enough rest. You're not going to want to wake up early if you're exhausted, if you're tired. I usually recommend to try to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep so that you can feel well rested. So whatever the time is that you want to wake up, count back 7 to 8 hours and make sure that you're in bed by that time. Usually, if I go to bed too late, I will not wake up the time that I want to. The other day, actually, I did not wake up to do my morning routine because I went to bed super late that night, and I just did my morning routine later on in the day. It was not ideal, but the purpose is not perfection, it's progression. And I just had to have a no problem mentality, and I had to make adjustments where adjustments were necessary. So it is okay that things don't always go your plan. It is okay if you don't always get every single thing done in your routine. You are not perfect. You are not a robot. Life happens. You just have to make adjustments as you can and then hop right back into it the next day. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week, turn into a bad month, turn into a bad year. One bad day is just that. It's a bad day. And move on to the next day. It's a clean slate. It's a fresh start. As I mentioned before, start small. Start small. Start with just one thing. If for you, your ideal morning is to just have your tea or your coffee in peace before your kids or your spouse or the sun comes up, wake up, make your tea or coffee, sit at your table or at your couch and enjoy that tea or coffee. And that could just be the one thing that you do and it makes you just feel so good and so at peace. Once you get that established, if you want to add on to it, now you may want to add into your routine while you're having your tea or coffee, you're listening to a positive podcast or you're listening to an audiobook or you're reading your Bible or something. Find something that you can add to whatever it is that brings you excitement. So start small, start by waking up just 30 minutes earlier and slowly build up on this time until you reach the ideal time for you. I realized that 30 minutes just wasn't enough time. I felt rushed. 45 minutes was better, but there was still so much I wanted to do. So I said, okay, let me push it to an hour. Now I'm like, okay, I want to start stretching. So now having that hour and a half of time will allow me to not feel rushed, to be able to move slowly and to get everything that I want to get done. Also, this routine is super simplified compared to what I used to do. Before, I used to work out, I would try to meditate, I would try to do this and do that and do this. Having just these 3 to 4 things that I do, it honestly doesn't make me feel overwhelmed. It doesn't make me feel like, oh my God, I have this huge long checklist of things to do in the morning. And when I'm done, I literally feel so good. Like I get back into my bed for my last 15 minutes and snuggle with my husband. And I just feel like, okay, my mind is right. I read my Bible, I did my journal, and I'm ready for the day. And I'm going to just reiterate this because this is going to help you so much. Find something that brings you excitement, something that brings you joy, something to look forward to start your morning. The morning pages was that for me. And you probably might think like, really, girl, a book? Like you were excited for a book? Yes, y'all, because right now I am just so focused on bettering my life, becoming a better person, and chasing all of my dreams and accomplishing all of my goals. I am just so passionate and focused on that right now. So to find something that I feel like will really help to get me there, to unlock whatever mental creative blocks that I have, to help me to reach the goals that I want to reach, that brings me excitement. Okay. So once I saw that book, I saw the assignments in it, I was just like, oh yes, like I can't wait to do this. I'm already almost 3 weeks in. This weekend will be the end of week 2 and I'll already be on week 3, and it's a 12-week plan. So that brings me joy. So find something that brings you joy, whatever it is. If you like to color or you like to draw and you don't have time to do it throughout your day, maybe your routine would be waking up in the morning and drawing or coloring before your day starts. Or maybe it might be you like to read poetry and you wake up in the morning and you read poetry before your day starts. Whatever it is for you, you just want it to be something that brings you excitement, something that you look forward to, and I promise you, it's going to help waking up in the morning so much easier. So I hope this helps. This is my simplified routine and my tips on how to create a simplified morning routine, especially if you're in your 3rd trimester of pregnancy. I understand how hard it is. Trust me, personally, I am with you, girl. It is hard, but we can do hard things. We can do hard things. Say it with me. We can do hard things. And the easier, the simpler your routine is, the more excitement and peace it brings you, the more likely you are to stick with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below if anything in this video was helpful for you. Please share with me if you currently have a morning routine. What do you include in your morning routine? What are you doing to start your day off right, to get your mind right, your body right, your spirit right? And let's talk about it in the comments. See you in my next video. Bye.